Hi there, and good morning and welcome to this week's live, which is Are You Working Too Hard for Your Children? And yeah, very warm welcome whether you are watching it live or whether you are catching a recording. So I want to start this live by giving you a very simple analogy. Parenting sometimes can feel like going shopping. And this kind of shopping can be a very different experience depending on how you do it. And if you go into the supermarket when you are hungry and your kids are hungry and you don't have a shopping list, and then you're just kind of trying to make your way through, and children find something they want and you sort of keep bringing that to you, and so you feel like you're being dragged left, right and center, and in the end you leave the shop with like a bunch of stuff, you spend a whole lot of money, and when you come back home you realize that actually you haven't got like enough ingredients to make a proper meal. And when you have a clear idea of what are you going to cook, and when you have a clear shopping list of what do you need to get from the shop, and when you tell your children beforehand, look, this is what we're getting, and can you help me to find X, Y, and Z in the shop, and then you leave the shop with exactly what you wanted, probably a bit more, but that's not a massive issue, and that is a very, very different experience. So I like this analogy with parenting and shopping, because it's just a good and easy way to see like why it's so easy to get overwhelmed with all parenting responsibility, and just meeting the constant stream of demands from children and all the things that need to get done day-to-day basis. It can feel like it's like constantly firefighting and running this marathon that literally never ends. And coming back to the shopping analogy, when you go into the supermarket with a clear shopping list, it can literally feel like you are owning the supermarket. You have a clear idea about what you're going to get, and all those other things, they almost don't exist anymore. And even if your child says something like, oh look, I want this, and then it's much easier to decide, oh yeah, we can get that, or no, we're not getting that today. So it is possible to have that shopping list for parenting as well, to decide what it is that you want, and then write what it is that you want to cook, or what are your goals in parenting, and then the shopping list is the ingredients, what do you need to get to that goal. So today I'll share with you my shopping list, and you're very welcome to copy and use it if it seems right for you, and also I'll share some ideas about how you can create your own. And so hopefully that will help you to reduce that sense of overwhelm, and move from feeling that you are working too hard into that space where you enjoy parenting and enjoy what you're giving to your child. So what am I cooking? What dish do I want to make? And for me, it's the emotional security of my children. And I didn't come to that clarity straight away. It came to me over the years as I was sort of traveling along my own parenting journey, but also alongside that, working as a psychologist with families, trying different approaches and see what works and what doesn't work so well. I've realized that that emotional security is literally the foundation of all healthy development. It's like the roots of the tree, and when you have healthy roots, then you have the rest of the plant is really healthy with lots of healthy branches. So emotional security forms the foundation for healthy emotional development, social development, even physical development and cognitive development. So that's the basket that I put all my eggs in. And so when it comes to nurturing emotional security, the research is very, very clear that the main factor that influences most the child's sense of security is that state of security within the caregiver. In a way, we pass that to our children, like, we pass the shape of our nails or color of our hair, but fortunately it is not that set, and we can nurture our own sense of security. So before it gets too complicated, I will carry on with my shopping list. So I know this kind of concept of emotional security is a really big one, but I think the first step, the most important skill and ability to have, is the ability to, in psychology talk we call it ability to regulate. And that that is that state when you just feel normal, you feel balanced, you feel grounded, you feel there, you are in your flow. You're not in that place where you can't start and do anything. You are doing stuff, and you are interacting with your children, but you don't feel overwhelmed by it. And I think it's easier to understand what it is and to kind of sense into what's it like for you to be in that middle ground if we look at the options, what options are there as well. So this is the middle ground in the middle, in which you feel balanced, present, connected with yourself and with your child, and just at ease with the situation. And one extreme from there is moving into being absent, and we go into the place when we are tired, sleep deprived, distracted or triggered, and reasonable amount of that is actually okay for children, because it helps them to tap into their own resources and resilience. And also it's just a healthy pattern of being in the relationship, because when you think about your children's future relationships with their friends and their partner, it's very, very, very unlikely that they'll have a person who will be there 24/7 with them. And it's this pattern of constant coming and going and coming and going is a healthy one. So it's a good thing to get used to it and feel at ease with it. So reasonable amount of absence is a good thing. It becomes more of an issue when it sort of becomes a very, very present pattern in the relationship. And on the other side, coming back to presence, and then the other side is over involvement. And I spoke a little bit about it last week. Is that when you act, when your actions are driven by the need to solve it, to fix it, to making good for your child. And the danger, one is hard work, and it's a lot of hard work, tying in with today's topic. And two is that in that situation we do things for our children that they are perfectly capable of to doing themselves, and we take that opportunity away from them to really discover their abilities and what they're capable of. So coming back to that middle state, well, what's so good about it? It just feels good. And I'll give you another analogy that I like, and that is parenting and driving. So when you're driving, you're constantly, or if you don't drive, I'm sure you can relate to that, you're constantly checking your the speed that you're going at. And if you feel like you're going too slow or too fast, you can always adjust and come back to that comfortable speed. And also when you're going at that medium speed, your fuel consumption is at its optimal level. And in a similar way, I know it sounds funny, but when you parent from that middle ground, it's sort of, you use the optimal amount of your emotional resources, your time, your mental resources. And that is because when you are in that middle ground, and that is really, really the key in this life of today, when you're in the middle ground, you can take some time to just reflect on what's going on and ask yourself a question. What does my child need from me right now? And let the answer come to you. Let your child tell you the answer, or just kind of show you the answer through their actions, or just depending on the context of what's happening, you can really tap sort of quite precisely into what it is that you need to do right now in this situation. And when you're in that absent place, it's kind of it's a hard place to do, and you're in that mode of protecting yourself, so it's hard to actually deal with this situation. And again, when you're in the other extreme of that being over involved, you're like overdoing, and if you're in that over involved state lots of the time, that's another reason why parenting can feel really, really hard. And when you're in the middle, you ask yourself a question: what does she need from me right now? And you can connect with that, and you can give it to your child, and then both of you feel that connection, and that it's working. And it's just, well, first of all, it's good for your child because they're getting what they need in that moment, and secondly, it just does wonders to your confidence and your trust in your ability to parent your child. So yes, so one tip is, if you feel like you're working too hard for your children, take some time to step back and just ask yourself, what does my child need from me right now? Because so often we get caught in our heads about the ideas of the type of parent we should be, or like what we should be doing and how it should be doing, and sometimes those ideas just don't serve neither you or your child. And when you just arrive into the situation just the way it is, you might find an answer that works better for both of you. So I hope it all makes sense. And one thing that I have created a resource for you, because I know it's with so many demands, it's quite easy to get pulled into one extreme or in another. So I created a audio practice called Let Yourself Be. It's a short practice, 13 minutes and a half, and you can do it whenever you feel the need for a boost or a top up to reconnect with yourself and reconnect with that confident, capable parent within you. So I will post the link in the comments, and I'd love to hear what you make of this life, and also of the Let Yourself Be practice. Alright, speak soon. Bye.